Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumours that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
I'm not going to repeat my name and job title because they're both too long. But so my talk is on this question that I've been pondering quite a lot in recent months, which is SEO killing curiosity? Is SEO killing curiosity? Are we all just too good at our jobs? We're making it too easy for people to find the information that they want, and then they're just done. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that everyone in this room would probably consider themselves a curious person. And one, because you're spending the day at a marketing conference, learning new things. And two, because you work in marketing, which is the profession of nosy people. We are absolutely all those kids who just used to ask why, but now we're grown up and we get paid to do it, which is brilliant. But when we're feeling curious, where's the first place we go? Probably Google, or to Nathan's point, some of these new search engines or social searches. But for a lot of us, it's still Google. And this is where we type in, who's the actor, who's in that TV show that I like, or where can I go on holiday where it's definitely not going to rain and it's going to cost me less than 500 quid. And then when we get our answer, this is the science bit, we get a lovely boost of dopamine, and that is the feel-good hormone, and it makes us feel absolutely great. But dopamine isn't just about making people feel good. It's part of our brain's wanting system. So one hit of feel good isn't good enough for us. We want more. And so that's when we go down the rabbit hole. And this is where, you have that moment where you wake up on the sofa at 2 a.m. with your phone tucked behind the cushions, and you know everything about the actor. You could do your mastermind subjects on him. Or you've not just found your holiday destination, you've planned out your full 7-day itinerary. And because we keep wanting to get that kind of feel-good boost. And for brands, that's amazing. If you can be the brand that makes your audience feel great and gets that really positive experience, they're going to be engaged with you and they're going to be loyal to you. But the reality is that we often don't go down this rabbit hole on brands' websites. Oh. Sorry, I'm not clicking. It's not moving on. Technical difficulties. We exit their website. Do you want the perfect hug? We exit their website. Yeah, wonderful, thank you. We exit their website and we go straight back to Google. So we might then land somewhere else if you've not optimized for the next sort of set of keyword search terms. So to go back to my next question, my original question, is SEO killing curiosity? I think I'm going to answer that already, but please don't leave because there's loads more to come. I don't think it's that SEO is killing curiosity. It's that search engines are getting all the credit and all the positive benefit from our curiosity instead of brands. So the real question should be, how can brands appeal to their audience's curiosity? I'm really conscious that I've now said curiosity about 50 times. I'm going to say it loads more, so I do not recommend starting a drinking game based on it. But to look into why curiosity, why does it matter? Why am I talking about it so much? Curiosity is fundamental to who we are as humans. I think this is such a lovely quote to describe it. To be curious is to connect ideas and people and to build knowledge together. And brands are all about connection with their audiences. So if we can use curiosity as the catalyst to connect, then we're going to have higher engagement, more brand loyalty, and we're going to make sure our consumers are ready and primed to act in the way that we want them to. So how can we leverage our audience's curiosity? Well, we need to know a little bit more about them. And this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky, because the model is a little bit broken. In terms of, to Yasmin's point earlier, we make a lot of assumptions about different demographics that just aren't really true anymore. You can have kids in any one of 3 decades of your life. We're seeing a lot of retirees going back to work in the 60s, 70s to fund their old age gap years. we just don't follow the life stages in the way that we used to do. So as a bit of an example of this, we've got these two people who, when we start to describe them using demographics, they're both male, they're both in their 70s, they're raised in the UK, they've been married twice, they love dogs and live in a castle. But you wouldn't market into them in the same way. You wouldn't consider them to be similar people. And if we look at it a slightly different way, these two women are both first-time mums, but traditional marketing would say that we target them very differently because they're in a different demographic. But the reality is, when you're in that kind of hazy newborn stage, you just have the same worries, the same challenges, the same hopes, and you're using the same search queries probably at about 2 a.m. And you want the same answers. So if we can't use demographics to learn more about our audiences, we need a new way that's based more around attitudinal thinking. And at Sticky, we have come up with the 5 curious consumer cohorts. And this is a new way of segmenting your audience based not on their age, not on where they live, not on what they do for a living, but the way in which they are curious. There's 5 here. We've got our clarity seekers, our novelty explorers, our associate eco empaths, our exhilaration hunters, and our expressive individuals. And these cohorts are absolutely not made up. They're based on 70 years of academic research into what makes us curious as human beings. So just going to look at all of these in a little bit more detail. So you've got your clarity seekers. These are your people for who minimum fuss is absolutely key. When they want information, they just want the answers to their question served up to them in the simplest, fuss-free way. They don't want to be overwhelmed by choice, and they do not want reams and reams of content that they have to go on a little kind of leisurely explore. They just want the facts. Our novelty explorers are all about the new and unexpected. So for them, it's all about serving them up things in surprising and delightful ways and encouraging them to go on those kind of serendipitous discovery journeys. You've got our associate eco empaths. This is what I am. And these are people who are all about connection with other people. They love storytelling. They love brands that prioritise their impact on people and the environment. And they're all about inclusivity and togetherness. We've got our exhilaration hunters, who are our resident daredevils. So this doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be kind of jumping out of a plane at any opportunity. But what they do like is to really kind of push their outer limits and take risks. They love things that are kind of simulating alternatives to screen time, and they want something that provides them with escapism. We've got our expressive individuals. I'm sure there's quite a lot of these in the room, and these are our creatives. So they love to be treated as an individual. They're all about user-generated content, encouraging self-love and self-discovery, and being treated as an individual and having their preferences recognised. So why does this matter? Just because we know how somebody is curious, how does that help us target them better? Well, if you're curious in a different way, then you need different information and different content at different times, and then brands can provide it for you. So let's take the example of going on holiday. If you're a clarity seeker, half the fun of going on holiday is the preparation in the weeks beforehand. You've got your suitcase packed, you've got your itinerary planned out, you've read all the TripAdvisor reviews, so you know which restaurants you're going to go to. You are absolutely sorted. So from a brand perspective, you need to be sending them lots of information in the lead up to their trip so you can help them build those itineraries. In comparison, our novelty explorer is the kind of person who turns up at the airport with a bag they packed that morning and hopefully their passport. They've done no research about where they're going, and on the evening, what they'll probably do is walk out of the hotel, turn left, go into the first restaurant they see, and they'll either have the best meal of their life or they'll have some regrets in the morning. And these two people are often married to each other, I think is probably worth pointing out at this point. So you can see that they're quite different and they have very different content needs. So for your novelty explorer, it's no point sending them loads of information or having loads of information on your website for them to peruse in advance. You're much better sending them a surprise tip for every day of their holiday and doing something that's a little bit more surprising. But it's also worth remembering that while we do all have a dominant curiosity type, we can lean into different ones at different times depending on what we're doing. So you might be an exhilaration hunter on holiday when you are away from your day-to-day responsibilities, but actually you're normally an expressive individual and you're looking to kind of get your kicks by creating beautiful things. And we also need to bear in mind that sometimes you can have two very different people in two very different cohorts, but they've kind of got the same view. So this is very true for products that you just kind of have to have, so like a bank account. So regardless of whether you're an exhilaration hunter or a clarity seeker, at some point in your life, you'll probably find yourself on one of the big four banks' websites. But does it meet all of your needs, or does it speak to you an individual? Probably not, because they're not considering how to target all of these different people. So now we're going to have it. So as I've taken you through, we can see that these are very, very different people that we can target with our content. So I'm now going to talk about 5 different ways that we can pique curiosity and target these people on a more individual level. So the first way is to tap into behavioural science. So these are the strategies that we use to persuade our audience to do what we want them to do. And different ones work different levels of effectiveness for different cohorts. So you can see here, there's an ad from Uber, which is offering 5 to 25% off your next 10 rides. And this is what we'd call an uncertain reward. And it's absolutely going to attract our exhilaration hunter, who is all about risk taking. So actually, an exhilaration hunter is much more likely to respond to this kind of offer because of the uncertainty. Even though they might only end up with 5% off, they're more likely to click on this call to action than if it just said 10% off every ride. So this is another behavioural science strategy, which is social proof. So you can see there's lots. This is basically taps into the idea that as human beings, we want to do what everybody else is doing, and we want to know that what we're doing is okay and validated because other people are making the same choices as us. And you can see that even in this relatively small amount of text, Basecamp has got 3 different examples of social proof. They've got over 75,000 organisations are already using this product, and then we've got 2 human stories about how Hilary Fitzgerald Campbell is using Basecamp and how the CEO of Shopify is using Basecamp. And these human stories are absolutely what our socio-eco empaths want to hear. The next tactic is using your tone of voice to your advantage, so flexing it to the different curiosity cohorts to make sure that your messages are landing with them really, really well, and that you're reflecting the way that they talk back to them. So you can see here, Liquid Death, the very unusual water company, which has quite an out there tone of voice, very, very different from the rest of the competitor set. So you've got things like Med Your Thirst or Sell Your Soul to join our club. And it's really unexpected and stands out in the crowd, which makes it appeal to our novelty explorers who are always looking for something a little bit different. In comparison, we've got Evian, which is much more what we'd expect from a mineral water company, but they're really dialing up. They're talking about kind of pristine and protected alpine mountain source. It's naturally hydrating, isn't enhanced with extras, and that focus on emphasising the environmental qualities of the water is going to make it appeal to our socio-eco empaths. It's also really important for us to think about the journey that our customers are going on. So how are we going to get them exploring deeper into our website and going on that kind of down the rabbit hole journey of discovery? So I love this example from Airbnb. Normally, when you go on Airbnb, you're just looking for like a cottage in the Yorkshire Dales or a city centre flat in Birmingham to have your uni mates reunion. It's probably very unlikely that you're actually going to stay at the Polly Pocket Compact. But by having these things so prominently on their homepage, they're really appealing to our novelty explorers who want to know that there's the potential to do something different, and it helps resonate that this is a brand that does things a little bit differently. We've got lots of surprising alternatives for you. Similarly, we've got Penhaglians, their fragrance website, fragrance company, for anyone who doesn't know. They've got a really different way of getting people to choose their perfume. So when you go onto their homepage, you're invited to take a quiz with questions like, what time is party time, or what tunes make your toes tap? And then when you've answered the series of questions, you're served up the perfect scent for you. This is great for our expressive individual who just wants something that's about them. They don't want the same perfume as everyone else. They want something that feels tailored and unique and personal. This is an example from a luxury travel company, Black Tomato. So they do trips to amazing trips, definitely ones that I want to go on, all over the world with millions of activities and millions of destinations to choose from. And you could just sort of lose yourself and spend hours in this website. I think they've organised their information really cleverly here. You don't have to think about where you want to go. You don't have to think about what you want to do. You just have to have that starting point of what month your annual leave is booked in. And this is great for our clarity seeker who just needs a really, really simple way into the content so that they can become engaged with it. Next, we're going to focus on formats. It's probably no surprise that all of the Curiosity cohorts like to consume their content in different ways. So here we've got baby carrier company Nuna. So they've chosen to go with a real storytelling approach to talking about their product. As you scroll through this page, you come across loads of different lovely videos, really artistically shot, of parents talking about how the carrier has enhanced their life, what it means to them as a family, and how they're finding their experience of parenthood. So they've gone with a really personal, human approach, which is perfect for our socio-eco empaths. In comparison, Baby Bjorn have gone for a very, very different approach to talking about their baby carriers. They've got their full selection of products, and they've got them categorised by price, how old can your child be when they can still use them, weight and length, and they've got them in a really easy, comparable table, which is absolutely perfect for our clarity seekers. And last, but by no means least, we need to be thinking about creating the right call to actions. This is actually probably the most important thing, because ultimately this can be the difference between somebody going further into your website and going on their exploration, curiosity-filled journey with you, or going back to the search engine, as we saw at the beginning. So I love this example this is a California beer brand, Saria, and they're a non-alcoholic beer infused with CBD, which means that actually they legally can't talk about their product in California. So what they've done is they've got a really different call to action, where instead of directing people to a website full of information, they direct people to a Spotify playlist, which they feel encapsulates the kind of sense and vibe of their product. And this is great for our novelty explorers, who are just so much more likely to click on something this creative and interesting and different than another call to action that says learn more or discover more. And this is from gift retailer Coming Soon. So this is a website that sells hundreds of different products, perfect for gifting that person in your life who has everything apart from a gold paperweight for their desk. And rather than getting people to kind of search through each of their different categories or each of their different personas that you can buy gifts for, they've got this lovely feature on their homepage where you can just click Surprise Me and tap the fortune cookie, and it will randomly generate a selection of gifts for you. Absolutely perfect for our exhilaration hunters who love that element of risk. So just to recap, our traditional methods of targeting have become a little bit less reliable, and we need a new lens so we can learn more about our audiences and what they actually want. And curiosity, we believe, is the right way to target and speak to these audiences. And ultimately, brands that facilitate that curiosity journey have the potential to engage their audiences and drive greater ROI, which is what we're all about. And our curious consumer cohorts can help you do that. And if you want to know a little bit more about your own curiosity, then we have developed a quiz which you can answer and find out which one of those cohorts you belong to. You can either scan the QR code now, or I've handily got some business cards in my pocket if you want to come and see me afterwards. Thank you very much.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.